to Echo Link VA3VLV connected. VA3VLV disconnected. To Echo Link TECHLINK conference.
VE3XBH, is this repeater in use? VE3XBH, linking to the TechLink node number 9229.
Connected to Echolink TECHLINK conference node number 9229. VE3MIS repeater.
Good evening, and this is VE3XBH. My name is Brian, and I'm your controller tonight for the Mississauga Amateur Radio Club Tuesday Night Net. This net is available on the club's VHF repeater and Echolink between 20:30 hours and approximately 21:45 hours local time in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. To participate in the net on the VE3MIS VHF repeater, tune 145.430 megahertz with a negative 600 kilohertz offset and a 103.5 hertz tone. To participate on Echolink, connect to the TechLink conference node number 9229. If you would like to find out more about the Mississauga Amateur Radio Club, please visit our website at www.ve3mis.ca. That's Victor Echo 3, Mike India Sierra, Charlie Alpha. Our email address is ve3mis@rac.ca. That's Victor Echo 3, Mike India Sierra, at Romeo Alpha Charlie, Charlie Alpha. The purpose of this net is to pass news and views along to members and visitors of the club. It also provides experience to volunteer operators in net and emergency operating procedures. All check-ins are welcome, and we especially invite non-members to join in. The Mississauga Amateur Radio Club meets currently virtually via Zoom conferencing software on the second and fourth Thursday of each month. Our meetings emphasize comradeship, learning, and are open to guests and visitors. Please see our website to learn how to join virtual meetings. Non-members who wish to attend should email VE3MIS@rac.ca to obtain instructions for virtual admission. And just a reminder that there is a general meeting this Thursday. It begins at 7:30 p.m. Local time in Mississauga, and that will be a virtual meeting via Zoom. The net will be conducted in 2 rounds, a check-in round and a 7-3 round. During the check-in round, check-ins will be called in 2 broad groups of traffic, short-time check-ins and general check-ins. Emergency check-ins will be taken at any time. Sometimes mobile, Echolink, and RF check-ins may be called by themselves to reduce the risk of doubling. Please listen carefully and check in with the group that best matches your circumstances. And finally, to avoid transmitting more than 1 minute without dropping. This will prevent system timeouts. Again, your controller for tonight's net is Brian. My call sign is Victor Echo 3, X-Ray Bravo Hotel. When checking in, please announce your call sign using phonetics, followed by your first name. To start the net off, are there any short-time check-ins? That means you may be in a rush or cannot check in later. So any short-time check-ins, come now, please.
Hey, Juliet, Mike Yankee, portable.
Kilo Foxtrot 5, Hotel Golf Uniform. Stop. Short time.
Okay, I heard 2 stations in there, KF5HGU, Bob. And top of the list was, sounded like Murray, VE3JMY, and I believe you're portable, Murray. Come on in.
XPH, JMY, good evening, Brian, and all on frequency. Outside here, west of Winston Churchill, waiting for grandson's karate club to end. Wanted to say hello, and we'll be listening along to the net. Thanks a lot. 73 for now, Brian.
VE3JMY, VE3XPH. Okay, Murray. Thanks for checking in. A little bit noisy coming into the repeater, but no problem copying you there. So thanks again for checking in, Murray. Okay, with that, let's go to Mesquite, Texas, and say hi to Bob. KF5HGU, Bob. Always nice to hear from you. Come on in.
Well, good evening, Brian, and everybody else on the net. Glad to get in here. I always enjoy listening to part of it. My daughter's coming by here in just a little while, so I may be in and out. Well, I know I'll be in and out, and I'm not sure when I'll get back. So just wanted to try to get in there and say hi to everybody, and thank you very much for doing the net. V3XBH, K5HQ.
KF5HGU, VE3XBH. Okay, Bob. Well, good to hear from you. Always nice to have you check in with us, and I know you're kind of busy these days, so thanks again for checking in, Bob. Always a pleasure. Okay, with that, I guess we'll open it up for any general check-ins. So we'll start off with RF. Are there any general check-ins on RF for the Mississauga Amateur Radio Club Tuesday night net?
Victor Echo 3, Whiskey Yankee Delta, Peter. Victor Echo 3, Whiskey Yankee Delta, Peter.
Victor Alpha 3 Hotel Echo Sierra. Mark.
Barry.
Hey, I heard two stations in there, VE3WBS and VE3WYD. And we'll also open it up now for any general check-ins on Echolink. Any Echolink general check-ins, please come now.
VE3MIS.
Didn't believe I'd get the mic. This is Victor Echo 3 Juliet India Whiskey. My name is Jim, and good evening.
Okay, I heard VE3JIW, Jim in there. So with that, we'll go to the top of the list, and we'll start off with VE3WYD. Peter, come on in.
Well, good evening, Brian and everyone on net. This is VE3WYD to VE3XBH. Nice to hear you doing the net. Hope all is well. Let me drop for 1 minute. Things are pretty good here in Brampton. I have been playing around with something called D-Star. Made a contact on Friday down to Ohio, so that was kind of neat. But anyways, keeping interested in the hobby and monitoring this evening. Back to you, Brian.
VE3WYD, VE3XBH. Okay, Peter. Well, that sounds good. D-Star is quite popular. There is a net you may be interested in trying on Monday nights. It's the Northern Ontario D-Star net. And it's available on one of the repeaters here locally. I don't have it in front of me, but that's one of the nets that's available on D-Star, and they're every Monday night at 8 o'clock. So I just thought I'd pass that on to you.
Okay, Brian, good to hear that. I'll keep my ears open on Monday night, but maybe you can send it out on club email, the details, and then I can tune into it. Back to you.
Okay, Peter. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll put that on the group's IO, and it'll also contain the conference that it's on. So I'll set you up with that, and maybe we'll hear on Monday night on D-Star.
Okay, Brian, sounds good. Thank you for that, and back to net control.
Okay, Peter, thanks for checking in. Are you going to be around for the 7-3 round?
Yes, Brian, I'll stick around for the 7-3 round. I didn't hear a lot of stations call in, so hopefully some more will come along later. So I'll be here monitoring. Back to you. VE3WYD to VE3XBH.
VE3WYD, VE3XBH returning. Okay, Peter, thanks for checking in, and we'll give you a shout on the 7-3 round. Okay, with that, let's go to Barry, VE3WBS. Barry, come on in.
VE3XBH and the group. This is VE3WBF. Name is Barry, located in Mississauga. I'm having some fun with a new little kit that I've got, and just starting it off. It's from, it's from Analog, it's called Analog Discovery, and it's a little 4x4 Foley instrument. It's got function generators and oscilloscopes and all that good neat stuff. So I'm building a circuit right now. I'm going to play with it. That's my exciting evening for today. Back to the net. This is VE3 WBF. Over.
VE3 WBF, VE3 XBH. Okay, Barry. Well, that sounds good. It's always fun to have something new to play with. That's a good portion of what this hobby's all about. So good for you, Barry. Are you going to be around for the 7-3?
VE3 XBH, this is VE3 WBF. I'm actually not sure. If it hits my bedtime at 9:30, I'll be gone. VE3 WBF, over.
Okay, Barry. Well, I'll leave you on the list. We'll give you a shout on the 7-3. If you're around, great, and if not, sweet dreams. Barry, thanks again for checking in with us. Okay, with that, let's go to VE3JIW. Jim, come on in, Jim.
Good evening, all. My name is Jim. I'm VE3 Juliet University, Toronto, on Echolink. And I had a question for the group. Does anybody know if the Peel Amateur Radio Club is any closer to getting a repeater site? Because right now, the 146-880 is off the air because they've lost a building to hold their antenna. I just don't know if anybody's heard anything. If there is a Peel Amateur Radio Club repeater. I know our repeaters are doing strong because we've been very lucky, and there's been a lot of hard work to keep them on air, but I wonder if anybody knows anything about the Peel Amateur Radio Club and their repeaters. Back to net from the VE3JIW. Hey, Brian, thanks for being on the mic at 8:30.
VE3JIW, VE3XBH. I haven't heard anything myself, Jim, but let's throw it open to everybody. Does anybody have any information on the Peel Club's repeater? Come back. Well, it sounded pretty quiet out there, Jim, so I guess nobody's heard anything. So that's something that we'll have to keep our ears open for.
What can happen to any great club is the people who are hosting your antenna and your repeaters, the internet, and the power suddenly find that they can no longer support a club, and you're kicking stones down the road looking for another place to call home. We're very lucky. Take care. I'll be along for the whole net, Brian. VE3XBH, VE3JIW.
VE3JIW, VE3XBH. Okay, Jim. Well, thanks for that, and we'll give you a shout on the second go. Okay, with that, we're at the bottom of the list, so I'm just going to throw it open to anybody, anywhere who would like to check into the Mississauga Amateur Radio Club Tuesday Night Net. Come now, please.
Victor Alpha 3 Hotel Echo Sierra, Mark.
Kilo 2 Delta Yankee, Robert and
Victor Echo
73 Golf X-Ray Victor, Ehor, Mississauga. Okay, I heard 4 stations in there. Mark doubled with somebody. I did get Mark. I got a VK2DY Robert and Eeyore VE3DXV. But that first station I didn't quite hear. Can you come back again, please?
Could have been me. Victor Alpha 3 Golf Delta Zulu Gary.
Okay, Gary, I guess that's who it was. I got you in there. So I'm going to run to the top of the list of what I had. So we'll say hi to Mark, VA3HES. Mark, come on in.
VA3HES returning. Good evening, Brian and all on net. Mark here in Mississauga. We're live on YouTube. Just search VE3MIS in YouTube, and you'll find tonight's live stream and archives of all the past ones. Not much to report over here, Brian. I just wanted to take a moment and thank you for all the hard work you put into our Aries section. And, again, thank you so much for everything you've done and for being a regular voice here on our Tuesday night nets. And I'm going to take a special check-in via messenger here. Peter, VA3ELE, says, I have no mic. Will he take a CW check-in? So that might be a first for you, Brian, if you want to take a check-in via CW. Hi. And I'll be around for the 7-3 round. Back to you.
VA3HES, VE3XDH. Okay, Mark. Well, thanks very much for that. And I did get Peter down on the list. My CW is very bad, almost non-existent. So if you'd like to, he can try, but I don't think I'd be able to copy it. But Peter, thanks for checking in with us. I do have you on the list, VE3ELE. Okay. Anything else, Mark?
No, that's about it for tonight. It's a quiet one. Not a lot of activity on YouTube tonight, but looking forward to the weekend already. It's been a long day already. Hi. Back to you.
VA3HES, VE3XBH. Okay, Mark. Well, thanks for checking in with us, and we'll give you a shout on the 7-3 round. All right. With that, let's go to Robert, VK2DY. Robert, come on in.
Good afternoon. This is Robert, VK2VY in Kellyville Ridge, New South Wales, but all part of the urban sprawl that is Sydney. 29.2 degrees Celsius. We'll get considerably warmer than that. The predicted high is 32. I think we'll probably exceed that by about 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon. So we're finally getting a touch of summer again after a week of cool, wet weather. I guess it's been good for the bushfires, though. There haven't been any, and that's a good thing. We've managed to make it through the summer with minimal bushfires, so that's a good thing. Although I do miss the ability to go to the beach whenever I want, but I guess it's a trade-off. Anyway, other than that, with the COVID cases are down in the 7,000 range, I think, daily. There's almost no feeling of continuing the restrictions that we have beyond the end of the month. I think it would take a tremendous increase in cases before for those restrictions to survive February. The Premier of New South Wales has basically said that. And the restrictions we have right now are masks indoors, and I think one person per every 2 square meters of space in facilities. Mostly the 2 square meters is enforced in pubs and in clubs and a few other places, I think churches as well. But it's not enforced in shops. It's not enforced anywhere else. So I think we're losing the restrictions pretty quickly. Other than that, what else are we going to say? That's about it. Oh, let me reset for a second. A funny thing today, I had trouble with my internet. Internet here is largely fiber to node, and then from the node to the house, they typically use the old copper that used to be used for landline phones back in the day. So that's how mine is set up. The node is, I don't know, about 20 meters away, and then they run a copper, the copper wire, the phone lines carries the internet. Well, I had trouble with my internet today. I called the service provider, and they told me, well, try a new, one of these phone cables that goes from the used to go from the phone to the wall, and because that's how it's connected. That's how the modem's connected in. And I suddenly realized I had none of these cables left. I used to have stacks of these cables back in the day when we had a landline, and I have none of those cables anymore. They're all gone. So I couldn't try another cable. Fortunately, the internet came back, but I thought that was funny that all of these connections that I thought were so important, wires, I think my wife got rid of them. But at any rate, thank you very much for taking my check-in. VK2DY.
VK2DY, this is VE3XPH returning, excuse me a second. Just had to clear a little frog out of my throat there. That's interesting, Bob. Robert, yeah, I think I'm probably in the same boat. I used to have a whole pile of those phone cables kicking around, and I think I've gotten rid of most of them. I do have one phone that I kept here at the house. I don't think it would do me any good right now, but it was a standalone phone. But I think with the phone system now, it wouldn't work. But up north at the cottage, I also have one of them, because if the hydro goes out, at least the landline still works. But other than that, yeah, I think we used to have piles and piles and piles of them, and now we don't seem to have any at all. Sounds good on the opening up. I hope it works out well, and that numbers continue to fall, and people get to do a little bit more than they've been able to do. So that all sounds good. Let's keep our fingers crossed and hope we're getting close to the end of this whole thing. Robert, thanks for checking in. I'll give you a shout on the 7-3 round. Okay, with that, let's go to Eeyore, VE3GXV. Come on in, Eeyore.
Yeah, good evening, Brian and the group. This is VE3GXV returning. I was just here tonight, just working on a cable patch between my Kenwood radio and my PC, and want to update the software on it to pick up more FM stations and a couple of the other stations in the Toronto region, and where I found out a couple last week that some of the tones and repeaters names and the tones, CTS tones have changed. So I'm working on that project tonight.
VE3GXV, VE3XBH. Okay, yours sounds good. Keeping busy, making stuff, that's certainly all part of it. So good for you, and hope it works out well for you. Are you going to be around for the 7-3?
Yeah, Roger, I'll be around for the second go-around, and when I hear my name, I'll get back to you. VE3GXV on the side.
VE3GXV, VE3XBH. Okay, Yor, thanks for checking in. We'll give you a shout on the 7-3. All right, let's go to VA3GDZ. Gary, come on in, Gary.
Good evening there, Brian, and hi to all the gang on the net, including the people who are joining us on Echolink from the HAM conference. I see is connected as well. Nice to hear from them. I expect to be just one and done tonight, Brian. I try to switch over to YouTube while I'm doing some other things to listen. Let's see, what's new? Oh, the Olympics. Yeah, I've been enjoying that. I used to be into some giant slalom skiing back in the day. And man, the things those people can do, though. And I tell my wife once in a while, geez, I don't think I could do that. And she says, Gary, you never could do that. It's quite true, but it's fun to watch them. Yeah, in terms of COVID, thanks, Robert, for bringing us up to date on Australia. You know, Canada and Australia's trends are very, very similar. Cases are going down just about everywhere. One exception is Denmark, who've opened up fully with no restrictions whatsoever. Their hospitalizations keep going up. We'll have to see if that's a strategy that works. Here in Ontario, we're partially open, as most of you know. Hospitalizations are still about 5 times what they were at the end of the year. But I've signed up to try some indoor sports. They're limiting capacity, and you got to wear a mask until you get out on the court. So we'll see how it goes. I'll send it back to you. Brian, this is Gary, Victor Alpha 3, Golf Delta Zulu, west end of Toronto.
VA3 GDZ, VE3XBH. Okay, Gary, well, sounds good. Yeah, it's looking like we may be able to open things up a little bit more here, and that's a good sign. You know, as long as my only concern with opening up is not so much the opening up as long as people don't get crazy and keep taking it a step further than maybe they should at the time. So as long as we're careful, let's hope we're going to see the end of this. Okay, Gary. Well, thanks for checking in, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again. All right. With that, we're at the bottom of the list. So let's see if there's any more check-ins for the Mississauga Amateur Radio Club Tuesday Night Net. Please come now.
Victor Alpha 3, Whiskey Mike, VA3WM, John in Niagara.
VA3WM, VE3XBH, John, how are you doing this evening? John, come on in.
VE3XBH in the Mississauga Net. This is John, Victor Alpha 3, Whiskey Mike in Niagara on the Lake, where everything is going well. And I'm watching our numbers. They're edging downward, so everything's going in the right direction. And let's see what's going on here. Not a whole lot. Doing some admin work for the Aries group. You want to publish some SOPs, and I had to brush up on my word editing skills. at a few points in time it wasn't fun, but I got it. I got it done, and on to the next steps. So, Super Bowl Sunday coming up, Hamtation's coming up, and Valentine's Day's coming up. Don't forget your Valentines. VE3XBH, VA3WM.
VA3WM, VE3XBH. Well, John, you know, it's amazing when you don't use something for a while how easily you forget. And I know I've done some word things here and there, and have forgotten a lot of the functions. There's so many of them to keep track of, and when you're not using them all the time, it takes an awful lot longer. This is something that's supposed to make things quicker, but when you're trying to figure out how to do it again, it takes a lot longer. But sounds good, John. And yeah, it looks like it's going to be a busy weekend. The Super Bowl this weekend, and of course Valentine's Day. You're right. Don't forget your Valentine. John, thanks for checking in, and we'll give you a shout on the 7-3. Okay, with that, we're at the bottom of the list. Is there anyone else who'd like to check in? Please come now. This is VE3XBH, listening for your call. Okay, I didn't hear anything else, so with that, we'll go back to the top of the list for the 7-3 round. I see Bob's still in there, so let's give Bob a call. KF5 HGU, Bob, if you're still around and like to say anything for the 7-3 round, please go ahead.
Yeah, Ryan, VE3XBH, KF5HQ. Yeah, I'm still here, hanging around, listening. My daughter was here and in and out, and caught a lot of the first round. And heard John, VE3WM, I think it is. I swear I can't remember the call signs. But it's interesting to listen to what's going on. It's amazing. And Robert in Australia, you got both sides of Australia covered. Robert's in east side, and Reg is on the west side of Australia. Got north central Texas covered, and I bet you got a couple of guys in Georgia that are listening, and they may not talk every now and then. Anyway, it's very interesting. Always fun to hear, and like to keep track of you guys. Always enjoy the net, Brian. Thanks for doing it very much. VE3XVH, Kilo Foxtrot 5, Hotel Golf Uniform 7-3, my friend.
KF5 HGU, VE3XBH. Okay, Bob. Well, it's always good to hear from you. We always enjoy talking to you and finding out what's happening in and around Mesquite. And glad to hear that you're doing well and all things are good. So thanks again for checking in, Bob. And yeah, you did bring to my attention, I see Reg is in there. So I think before we go on the 7-3 round, let's see if Reg has anything to say. VK6BQQ, this is VE3XBH. Come on in, Reg.
VE3XBH in the group, VK6BQQ. Well, I'm Grandpa's babysitting today, our 10-year-old, and Mom's gone out to the doctor, so Grandpa's the babysitter today. Not a whole lot other than that going on. It's a nice day here in Western Australia, and our project for March is coming right along. So hopefully everything will be in order. But all is good. Great to hear everybody in here. My morning, your evening. Great to hear Bob, of course, in Texas. So we're back to you, V3XBH, VK6BQQ Australia.
VK6BQQ, VE3XBH. Okay, Reg. Well, sounds good. And I guess if you're babysitting, you're going to have your hands full this morning, so all good there. And yeah, it's getting closer. It's not going to be very long until that day in March. So we're looking forward to to that, and of course, Reg hosts the Friday night TechLink net and the Flying Pigs net on this repeater every Friday, and that's also on the TechLink conference number 9229. So if you're around on Friday, by all means, give Reg a shout. Reg, thanks for checking in. We'll give you a shout on the 7.3.
Fantastic, Brian. And if you want to see what the world is doing, we got the UK, Canada, and Australia special event call signs. So you get a chance, look it up on the computer. It's on QRZ.com. The three of them are Golf Bravo 80, Lima Alpha November. We got a VK 80. And in Canada, we got the VE 80 LAN. So if you're interested at all in the 80 years of the Lancaster, those are the three sites. And if you have problems remembering those sites, BQQ has a website on QRZ, and the sites are all listed in there. Thanks, Brian. 7-3 for now, sir. VK6 BQQ Australia.
VK6 BQQ VE3XBH. Okay, Reg, sounds good. It would certainly be nice to be able to make a contact with each of them, but we'll give it a try, I'm sure. But we'll see how it goes. But Reg, thanks for that, and thanks for working on it and everything you do, and we'll give you a shout on the 7.3. Okay, with that, let's see where we were going. We talked to Bob. So Peter, VE3 WYD. I can't read my own writing. VE3 WYD. Peter, come on in.
Hello, Brian, and everybody else that just called in. Enjoying the net this evening, listening to everyone. Quick question for you. I'm listening to 145.430 for our net, and I'm also hearing our net on 444.800 CN tower. Can you explain that, or am I allowed to call in on that? Back to you.
VE3WYD, VE3XBH. Yeah, you can call in on that. That's VA3RCI repeater. It's located on the top of the CN tower. A friend of mine is the fellow that operates it, and he usually links it up for us. It's still going through a little bit of tweaking here and there, but you're certainly welcome to use it at any time. It's available.
Okay, thank you, Brian. I was wondering, could I possibly try it now to see if I can link into the net? Because I'm getting a clearer signal on that, and it's 34.9 kilometers from me, whereas the VE3MIS station is 18.8, and I'm getting a little bit of static. Maybe it's just my area. So I'm going to drop and go to the other station and try to call in.
Okay, Peter, we'll listen for you.
VE3XBH, this is VE3WYD. I guess that didn't work for me. Back to the net and on to the next person, 7-3.
Okay, Peter. Yeah, we didn't hear anything off of that repeater. It has a 103.5 hertz tone. I don't know if you set the tone up on it or not, but I think it should work. But did you have a tone set?
Yeah, Brian, I had the tone set. I don't know what it was, but I won't tie up the net with that experiment. Keep it moving along. Back to you. Thanks.
VE3WID, VE3XBH. Okay, Peter. Well, thanks for checking in, and we'll be talking to you again for sure. And I'll check with Steve and see if there's any issues with it. I do see it coming up on my rig here, although I haven't been listening to it. So we'll see if we can get that sorted out what's going on with it if there is a problem. Peter, thanks again for checking in. All right, with that, let's go to Barry, VE3WBF. Barry, anything for the 7-3 round?
This is VE3WBF. Well, I got some interesting waveforms on my computer from this little experiment that I've been working with while I'm listening in. I don't know why I'm getting negative spikes coming out of a NAND gate, so this is my experiment for today. This is VE3WBF, back to the net, over.
VE3WBF, VE3XBH. Okay, Barry, well, keep working at it, and I'm sure you'll get it all sorted out. Barry, thanks for checking in with us this evening. All right, with that, let's go to VE3JIW. Jim, any last words for the net?
No, not really. No. This is VE3JIW. Just hanging in there. Nothing to really add. Good evening to all, and some of us will catch each other on 2 days on Thursday. So back to VE3XBH, VE3JIW, Toronto.
VE3JIW, VE3XBH. Okay, Jim. Well, thanks for checking in with us. Always good to hear you. And I'm sure we'll be talking again in the near future, I'm sure. So thanks again for checking in. All right, with that, let's go to Mark, VA3HES. Mark, anything for the 7-3 round?
VA3HES returning. Well, Brian, thanks again for hosting the net tonight. Good one as always. I actually have a question about the RCI machine. I'm curious to know what the machine is. Is it an ICOM or a Yaesu, or is it a repurposed commercial hardware? Back to you, Brian.
VA3HES, VE3XBH. Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you, Mark. He did tell me once that it wasn't a GE, I really couldn't say for sure whether it was a commercial machine or not. I know the antenna is a vertical that's at the very tip top of the tower, and the feed line is the old Channel 79 feed line that when City TV was broadcasting on Channel 79, that was the feed line that went up to their antenna that was at the top. So that's the original feed line that he's using. I think he said it was 3-inch coax. So that runs up. So that's about all I can tell you. But when I speak to him again, I'll ask him. I'll make sure I write it down so I know. Back to you, Mark. VA3HES, VE3XBH.
VE3XBH, VA3HES. Well, yeah, I guess there's no loss with the 3-inch feed line going to that antenna. But yeah, if you do find out, I'd be curious to know, because I get pretty good coverage out of that machine. I've been trying it as I've been driving around the city. 7-3, everyone, and see some of you Thursday at the club meeting, and if not, catch you all next Tuesday. Back to you, Brian.
VHES VE3XPH. Okay, Mark, I'll make sure I write it down next time, and yeah, I guess there's not going to be much loss on it, and you certainly don't have to worry about the power handling capability of that feed line. So, so there you go. It's been up there for a long time, but it seems to be in pretty good shape. So, Mark, thanks again for checking in, and we'll probably see you on Thursday at the club meeting. Okay, with that, let's go to Robert, VK2DY. Robert, anything for the 7-3 round? Nothing heard from Robert, and I guess I should have looked at the list on Echolink because he's not there. So, okay, with that, let's go to Eeyore, VE3GXV. Eeyore, anything for the 7-3 round?
VE3XPH, VE3GXV. Not very much there, Brian. Just still here working on my little project, and I'd like to finish it maybe tonight. And just want to say that one of the programs that I'm using is called Chirp. I don't know if you've heard of that one. I also have another one called RT Systems, and both of them are very, very good. Very happy with them. And I'm just going to keep working with those little programs to put in more repeaters into my radio. So that's about it. There's not much more I need to add. And again, Brian, it was a very good call out for everyone. So and for the Mississauga repeater. So I'll say 73s for now, and we'll catch you later. VE3XPH. This is VE3GXV.
VE3GXV, VE3XPH. Oh, very good. I'm familiar with both of those software packages. Chirp is quite versatile, and the RT systems. I don't remember which radio I used it on, but definitely they both make programming a lot easier, and the nice thing is you can store it, and if something does happen, you've got it all in there. It's easy to change, it's easy to load, and that sort of thing. So, all good. Eeyore, thanks for checking in with us. Okay, with that, Gary said that he probably wouldn't be here. So let's go to John, VA3WM. John, anything else for the net?
VA3XPH in the net. This is John, VA3WM. Oh, Brian, I don't really have too much more to contribute tonight, so I'll just say 7-3 to everyone, and everyone stay safe, stay well. VA3WM.
VA3WM, VE3XPH. Okay, John, thanks for checking in with us. I should probably add that John hosts the Ontario portion of the Trans-Canada IRLP net, and that's also carried on this repeater. It'll be tomorrow starting at 11 a.m. It starts in British Columbia and goes right away to right across to the Maritimes. Usually the Ontario portion is I guess about 10 after 11 or so, and John hosts that portion of it. So by all means, check in and say hi to everybody across Canada. John, thanks again for checking in. Okay, and with that, the last one I got on the list here is Reg, VK6BQQ. Reg, anything for the 7-3 round?
V3XPH in the group, VK6BQQ. Just popped in here, and there we are on a 7-3 round already. Not a whole lot. as I say, our venture for March is coming up, and for those, why, it's going to be about 7 o'clock in the morning for you folks. We'll be getting all 3 stations from UK, Australia, Canada. We'll be on this very network. And we'll have an opening ceremony, see how that goes. But to get the 3 countries in here, times, of course, with the time travel, we're working on it. 8 o'clock in the evening here, 12 o'clock in the UK, 7 o'clock in the morning, I believe, in Canada. So be on the network, and we'll have an opening ceremony. Now, what time, you folks change times again? You're going to spring ahead, I believe.
Yeah, Reg, and off the top of my head, I don't know what date it is. Maybe someone else who's listening out there could let us know when we do the clock change.
March 13th.
Was that March 15th?
That in mind, so we'll have it at 7 o'clock in the morning then on March 1st. It's a Tuesday. All right, March 13th, we got you for a time change. That'll make 8 o'clock in Australia, 8 o'clock in Canada. All right, thanks for that. Good night, Brian, from what I've heard, and back to babysitting. BK 6BQQ, West Australia. Good morning.
Okay, Reg, thanks for that. Thanks for that info, and enjoy yourself babysitting. Don't get run too ragged. Reg, thanks again for checking in. Always good to hear from you. Okay, with that, we're at the bottom of the list. Is there any last check-ins for the Mississauga Amateur Radio Club Tuesday Night Net? Coming out, please.
Echo 3 Lima Tango Mobile.
Okay, I heard VE3 Lima Tango, and I didn't catch the last part. If you could give me your call sign, and go ahead, please.
It's Victor Echo 3 Lima Tango. 2-letter call. I'm mobile right now. I'm on the QEW on the south side of the lake. I don't know if I'm getting in very well, but nice to hear Reg in there. I haven't talked to Reg in about 2 years now, so hello, Reg, and hello, everyone on the net. The name is Tom here, Tango Oscar Mike, and from the honeymoon city, Niagara Falls, just heading home.
Okay, Tom, I got you in there. I still missed the last character. I've got VE3 Lima Tango, and I didn't catch the last one. If you could just give me the last character again.
2-letter call. VE3 LT Lima Tango. 2-letter call.
Okay, I'm still having trouble with it. Try it once more. It must be me.
2-letter call, Lima Tango. 2-letter call, Lima Tango. 2-letter call, Lima Tango.
Roger, got it that time. 2 letters, so it's VE3 Lima Tango, and that's it. Okay. Tom, thanks very much for that. Sorry for having you repeat it so many times. Thanks for checking in, Tom, and good to hear from you. By all means, please check in again. All right, I'll just make one more last call for anybody who'd like to check in the Mississauga Amateur Radio Club Tuesday Night Net. This is late check-ins. Come now, please.
VK6BQQ, just waving a hand to Tom. My goodness, it's been a while since we've talked with him. V3 Lima Tango, got your call. 73 VK6BQQ. Thanks, Brian.
VK6BQQ, VE3XBH. Oh, thanks, Reg. That's what it's all about. Meeting new people and catching up with some old people. So good to hear. That's great. Okay, I guess with that we'll close the net. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us this evening. If you have any comments, thoughts, or suggestions, you can contact us via email at VE3MIS@RAC.ca. That's Victor Echo 3, Mike India Sierra at Romeo Alpha Charlie Charlie Alpha. This is Victor Echo 3, X-Ray Bravo Hotel, closing the net and returning the repeater to general use. Thank you all for your participation. 7-3 and stay safe, everyone.
Victor Echo 3 with Yankee Delta, calling Victor Echo 3 at 8.
VE3 Whiskey Echo Delta, VE3XBH, go ahead.
Hi, Brian. This is Peter here, VE3WYD. Did I get through to you this time? Yeah, the CN Tower repeater? Back to you.
Okay, we got you that time on the CN Tower repeater. If you could come back to me again, I'm just going to take a quick look and see what levels and everything are like.
This is Victor Echo 3 with Yankee Delta, calling Victor Echo 3, X-Ray Bravo Hotel.
VE3 WID, VE3XBH. Okay. The level into Echo Link is a little bit low, but I think that's something that Steve is going to work on. It was very low last Friday, and he brought it up a little bit during the net, but it still looks like it needs to come up a little bit. So I will pass that on to him. But you're certainly getting in, no problem, and I can copy you okay, so it's certainly no problem.
Okay, Brian, thank you for that. The earlier call-in, I didn't have one setting set right on my radio, so hopefully I got that right now because I'm talking to you, but let them know about that and maybe you can work on it because I get a very clear signal from the CN tower as opposed to the VHF repeater. So 73, this is VE3WID, the VE3X 73, and clear the repeater.
3WID, VE3XBH. Okay, Peter, it sounds good, and I'll pass those comments on to Steve, and we'll see if we can get everything sorted out. And like I say, it's a bit of a work in progress. So, Peter, thanks again for that, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again. VE3XBH is clear.